Hello people, it's that time. It's that time again. Hopefully you can all hear me loud and clear. Okie dokie. So, right, this is it. It's that time again. Welcome everyone to my live stream. Welcome to the channel. My name's Danny C. Let's get down to business, shall we? I hope everyone's doing good, and I hope everyone's well. So, this is it. This is the final round of the GT World Series Manufacturers Cup Exhibition 3. And we're over at another official circuit that is one of Gran Turismo's classics, Deep Forest Raceway. So, I hope everyone's doing good. So, this is it. This is the final round of the GT World Series Manufacturers Cup. And it's not been too bad. It's certainly gone fast, that's for sure. So for this one, of course, I'm going to be driving the GT3 car for McLaren. So let's get straight to it then. Just get the phone charger something. There we go. And so here is what to expect for this upcoming race. And first things first, looking back at the points that I couldn't ask for much for more than that. Looking at me the rankings and across certain areas, and so I just cannot wait to finish off on a positive note. But let's see, depends who I'm up against. Depends what the competition I got. So, and obviously as for the regional ranking, and no matter what happens, it's still been good having got two third places, one in the GT3 car at Road and one in the GT4 car in the in Blue Moon. So, and before we get even further, then I'd just like to spare a moment to say hello to Ghostly. Welcome along, buddy. Thank you very much for tuning in, and hope you're well. Yep. Best of luck to you, buddy, if you are participating in this one. So this probably is my best shot, in terms of availability, because obviously depending what's going off in the world of Formula 1, then obviously I'll be watching it after I've done this 5 o'clock slot, which looks like it's going to be a quick 15-minute race. I've got 15 lap sprint race, the 15 lap race, shall I say, with the tyres and fuel involving. Well, looking on the fuel doesn't seem much of a problem also, because what's happening there is that you've got 15 laps at Deep Forest with the qualification time set to 5. So, yep, you do right, pal. Was going to say that the qualifying starts at 6 o'clock UK time. Obviously, I've been watching the sprint earlier on as well. So yeah, for those who don't want to know what's been going off in the sprint, I'll not say it, unless somebody here or somebody on here decides to say something. Do you know what I mean? But so you do need to use the racing hards and racing mediums as the required tyre types. Obviously, no number of no mandatory pit stops in that one. Obviously, you do need to use the 2 different tyre compounds. Failing to apply that principle will end up with a couple of minutes penalty, something like that. That's just like how it normally works sometimes. So the tyre wear is set to times 7. The fuel consumption rate is set to times 2. So, having done some practice behind the scenes, I feel like I'm in good position. So I'm in good hands. So just need to try out just the little things which you can fine tune the setup. Interestingly, but you can change some things on the suspension geometry, along with the torque. That's another thing I have noticed, which is how I ended up with a 26.8 in that one just before I gone live. So that puts me obviously 215th at the minute. Well, you have the top 6 some that are in Oceania, Asian continents, and then some in the one in the European, all in the Dodge Viper, and there's also some that's in the Citroen. So we have Juju in the McLaren, getting the most out of the McLaren. And there's Calster there in the Porsche. Levi Tiss in the McLaren. Excuse me. Got something in my ear. And there's heat on in the Greg's Porsche livery. And there's Hartium, literally 2,000ths of a second between myself and Hartium, one of our friends who have been racing in my Opel lobbies. Foldini with the Lambo. Fogrinio in the Porsche. Mario Sonic in the Mercedes. So it'll be any moment where we hit 4:45 and then I can enter the 5 o'clock slot. So there it is. Just gone 45 and now I can enter. So just make sure I don't go on the wets or something like that. So we're on the racing hards. So I'm going to go and have a go at the racing hards. And whilst I am on there, I'm going to go and try this. So for those who are using the McLarens, you know, just feel free to use my setup if you wish. But this is just what I've going to use. Okay, so I'm going to give that one a go. And just get the feel of the hard compound tyres. With the brake balance set to 5, so having done some research, obviously I had to go behind the scenes on the race trim, so you can get to, if you were to start on the mediums, you can get them to lap 7, and if you were to start on the hards, you can get them to lap 8, whichever way you're around it is. So even if you were to go for the undercut and pass people, then I'm going to check my setup too often. I'd be paranoid about it resetting. Yeah, preparation's key for sure. Because as far as I'm concerned, this is probably the only race that we came across where a setup is required, which is one of the technical bits that certain people can get into. That little bits and pieces is to see like what's good for qualifying and for the race, depending what car you're using. I just need to put Ghost on. That's the one thing I forgot to do. But at least we've got some time, so it's all good. And when I posted a 26.8, I had 4 to the rear. So I'm going to go with the 5. I'm going to go with 5 to the rear. So that was for me medium tyre run, that Ghost. So doing my best to follow it as close as I possibly can without abusing the track limits also. And so far I've been hitting the wall on the fast left-hander, which didn't do me too much harm. So you can get it into the high 27, even that you've got no tyre wear fuel consumption rating turned on in practice mode like this. And then obviously when you get into the qualifying situation, then you have to think of your tyre wear. Well, obviously you'll feel the difference there. As for the race itself, then you'll also get to feel the difference with the full tank of fuel along with the tyre wear being turned on also. So I'm just gonna that setup doesn't feel too bad. So what you don't want to be doing too much is to wear the front right tyre out too much, because otherwise it's gonna send the temperatures through the roof, and you don't want to be doing that because that is going to compromise you from very much the second to last corner onto the home straight as well. So we're gonna go with the media time run, see how I feel on the mediums with that setup, because I have tried Calster's setup in his Porsche, and I thought if I'm in depth to see the comments on section of where I can find the a good setup for the McLaren, and it's just them little details all it takes depending on the car's characteristics and so on, and that's what should give me the upper hand to be sure that I get a result. I don't know what result I'll be getting depending who I'm coming across or where I qualify, because you know that it's one of them races that for every person who's playing this game that just wants to finish on a positive note, if they're free or if they've got plans, then by doing other things, then no problem. So then my Ghost had a slightly better exit. Yeah, definitely. By any means, you don't want to be doing one thing, doing too many things at once, because it can literally compromise the suspension geometry by quite a lot. But it'd be hard on the brakes into turn one, then they'll not run up to the hairpin. So what if I, mind you, misjudged my braking a bit. So if I try a 6, as I got myself a 3-star roulette ticket. So obviously, try 6 on the anti-roll bar on front. Go with that. Excuse me. Because when I've gone with the 6.9, obviously the tyre wear isn't too bad for this car. So even if it's just that little tweak on the front anti-roll bar, then which obviously makes a slight little difference on the front handle, the handling, of course. But you just want to use your initiative on the tyre, on saving tyre as best you can. I'd probably just go with the 5 on the front, and then I'm gonna go for a quick toilet break once I've adjusted the front suspension back to where it was. So I'll be back in 2 secs. There we go. Fishes attack. Burn off before we get into the lobby, depending who I'm racing against. Right. So this is it. The fire runner is upon us, and it's been good through the highs and lows, and just want to spare a moment to wish you all the best of luck who are doing the 5 o'clock slot, or even later, if you're free. And welcome along, Alex. Thank you very much for the good luck message. Thanks for tuning in. Hope you're well. So, let's do this. We've got some company. We've got Andy, we've got Lion, we've got Dustin, we've got Mario Sonic. Yeah, we've got Mario Sonic. We've got Ewan. So, 303 points for the Raceway, interestingly. And 8th gets you 215, so if I can quickly... suspension geometry remains the same for when I got into a lobby. So, let's see what I could do. Obviously, I have no idea what to expect from my side. But let's see what I can do. Mario Sonic says he's not ready. Tough track for the Suzuki today, says Stan. So I'm the only one in the McLaren, for what I could see. No, there's a German driver who is in the McLaren. So just let these people by, and because it's very much well, for what I can get is a 2 fast laps. Give you another 10 seconds or something. Here we go. Probably not the tidiest of laps in some areas, but I can always get better if the tyres will let me. And he's managed to spawn back into pits and change tyres, so has Dustin. This is probably the best I could do, just need to put it together on the hairpin. Get it together now. Come on. Come on. Come on, McLaren. Get that slip. Come on. Ah! Well, how close is that? How close is that? How close is that to pole position? 6/100ths of a second. That is the smallest of margins. Is all it takes. Right, right. We're getting somewhere. We're getting somewhere. I don't need to do any changes to setup. I'm happy with that. I'm just gonna go with the hards. So obviously all it takes is just a bit of tire saving on the front right. Okay. Have a good race, everyone, and best of luck. And no matter what happens, it's been a pleasure to race in this competition on the wheel. So let's play the music. let's get down to business and do the talking on the track. Let's go. Engine notes rising to the top as they want to burn the fuel off before they even get going. So the Dodge is the one, as on paper, but all could change, all could happen. And I'm number 13, unlucky for some. Dusty's in number 5. I have no idea what tyres everybody else is going to be on. So I'll just go with the hards, just to be mindful. And Mario Sonic in 12th. Dustin in 7th. Andy in 3rd. And we've got Paul Iski in the McLaren down in 15th. Right. Come on. We've got a Ferrari in front of me, a Porsche in front of me, a Mercedes in front of me, and a Dodge in front of me, a Lexus behind me, a Nissan behind me. So you have 7 different manufacturers in the top 7. So, for the last time of the exhibition series, let's do it for McLaren. Here we go. Trying to get some tyre temps in right away. Might be on the mediums, that guy. And he's going sideways. The Russian's going for the move on Andy. Got Dustin behind me. I don't know if he's going to go for the overtake or is he going to go and give me a nudge. Yeah, he's going for the overtake, but just not quite enough as I'm still in that slip also. No problem. I've just seen the hazards, so I don't know whether he's on a different strategy. So, but he thanks me for the overtake, and I'm like, no problem. A long way to go. Just need to keep the consistency together. Andy's lost it. Oopsies. Unlucky, buddy. Let's see what we can do, pal. I'm not going to overtake you. If I get a little closer, I could just give you a little nudge where possible. Got tremendous momentum through that corner. Got a Lamborghini behind me, closer than ever. Dustin's going super early on the hards. What's he going to do? Is he going to go for the move? Is he not? Saw a bit of a lag from my screen. Must be the servers. Somebody's left. That's the leader. That's one of the contenders. Oh no. Unless he spun out. Unless it's his service disconnection now. Oh, that is the last thing that we need. So the podium is up for grabs. So these two have, these three are pitting behind me. So the top two must be on a different strategy, unless the guy in front is on a medium compound. Even he's got a half-second penalty for abusing the track limits, which could get me back into contention for a result. Obviously, I'm currently sitting fourth, but I'm going to be doing the obvious. No problems with fuel. So I just had to change the brake balance from 5 to 4. Come on. Come on. 6.4, what is that? And Dustin's performed the undercut. But he's going to feel the tyres towards the end, surely. So I'm just getting my tyres into the groove with things. Staying within the slip the best I can. So Dustin's in P3 at the moment, having made an early pit stop on the hards. Almost. That's killed my momentum off, having had that slide. Sonic's in contention. Felt close to abusing the track limits. Got away with that somehow. So the racer was on the mediums. Can see a bit of bum drafting going off up front, risking their SR. Danny C sets the fastest lap. Dusty's gone way wide there. And he's got a half-second penalty for abusing the track limits while going wheel to wheel. I said it was going to be a bit sketchy with some on different strategies, but it's certainly looking to be that way. So just going to have to be patient through this situation. Getz has gone onto the hards, having started on the mediums. Maybe his tyres in the Lambo is starting to wear out a little bit. Dusty's about to serve a half-second penalty on the penalty zone. And then we start to make further gains. Mario Sonic moves up a place. He's there, sort of. So we've got some that are on the hard tyres, struggling to keep up, struggling to build the gap. I can feel my tyres only just giving way. Got some fighting going off there for P2. I'm closer than ever. Getz got a half-second penalty. So P3's on the cards with 2 laps to go after this. Getz is about to serve a half-second penalty for abusing track limits. It's going to be tight. Nicely done around the outside. Trying to get this slip as much as I can from the Spaniard up front. Mario Sonic's there also. Just to be mindful of the lag. Cracking race. Well done, everyone. Start to finish 5th. So I'll take it. I'll take home the points. Considering how close it is between the top 5 in quali, there's just not really much, and the Russian in the Lexus has come out on top. Yes, Marty, welcome along. Thank you very much for watching. Hope you're well, my friend. So grab the replays if you want them. So increase the DR, 253 points. Job is a good one. Indeed. So I just want to spare a moment to say well done to those, if they're still around. And I've obviously finished ahead of the McLaren also, so yeah. But it's certainly like a spectacular race, even if you play how you want to play in terms of strategy with the undercut or overcut, then yeah, me too. Got pushed off the track and got a pen. Great game, says Dustin. Well, I've got the replay saved, so obviously those that'll be because one lap younger tires is all it takes to make a difference, or even 2 laps. So is anybody still in? That's all I'm gonna say. Only 50 points off first. So that, of course, probably first time I've seen a 300 odd points up for grabs in a lobby like this well, for quite some time. So let's have a look at the replay. So I had Vladil, who was very quick off the line. Not off the line, the rolling start. I was just weaving, just trying to get some tire temps, and then Vlad thought, you know what, I saw the opportunity, and I did all I could to keep it as clean as possible, getting to see what happens kind of attitude, and then, so, no mistakes there from my side, other than just maybe some bits I could have done a little different. And Dustin right behind me also for the first couple of laps. And we had Andy, of course. Kept within the striking distance, of course, and then I had Dustin right behind me also. And now we're like, is he going to go for the move? Which he was going to go for the move, but there was nobody, no slipstream to catch, as I was able to catch the slip, and then obviously got a bit too deep, and let's see how, way deeper than 100 meter board. Perhaps I was just busy looking over at Dustin and see what he was doing. So let's see how quickly he's gone into the 100 meter board, kept it in the apex, and then went from first to second, and then even then got a little bit of a helping hand from Vulcan in order to give him the slight advantage in order to make the apex first. But that didn't do any harm to Dustin also, and therefore I had to concede position because I thought he purely had the momentum, and then obviously somebody gave him a little nudge to get him over to the apex first, and then I thought, just play the long game, keep everything under control, keep it within track limits. So what happened to Andy was he was using too much grass, and you don't want to be doing that because you'll end up with dirty tyres, which will compromise your grip. So too much onto the apex with dirty tyres, and that's how Andy got into a spin. Not the result he were after, but I'm sure he'll go again to get another result. Where did Vulcan get the penalty? So yeah, Ghostly. He qualified third, then he got rammed 3 times on round 1. But that's one of the things that where the desperation gets in there for some, and then you manage to salvage some points with a 6th place finish. Welcome along, Dustin. I was only able to go in slot 1. Oh, is that all you had time for, Dustin? If that really is the case. Yes, Alex, welcome along. Thank you very much for tuning in. Hope you're well. So how he got a penalty? Must have been like before. Oh, you got a league race to do. Okay, fair dues. Yeah, that's well, best of luck on your league race for later on this evening, Dustin. Hope it goes well for you. So, look at that. you see how much it gone wide. I mean, this is what I was talking about before. You know, just them small margins. Yeah, definitely. And tyre strategy would have been a little bit different also, because when I saw you come in at the end of lap 5, then I thought that was an early stop. So you're looking around lap 7 or 8 or 6, maybe perhaps. And then obviously you've made you made the overcut to work. But it was just that when there was a bit of desperation going off from some people, which is the way it goes, I suppose. So this is how close it is. Like that's well, you see a bit of tire. You see a bit of tire that's on the white line, and then when you have enough tire pressure in, also, that's obviously the game says well, it's a penalty anyway, because they don't give a monkeys on the stewards inquiry or so. But you know what? It's it's just centimeters what could change a race completely. Yeah, definitely. And he went such a dumb move in half race. And okay, so look at we're just going through the Porsche, who also had a half-second penalty, gone a bit wide, and then like something happened, perhaps a mechanical issue. But yeah, it's the undercut's much stronger, but then obviously there's a consequence of having slightly worn tyres also. Obviously we had a good battle in the first couple of laps, which is good to see, because we haven't had that many closest races together, but I mean, it depends where you qualify, I suppose, or where I qualify. So every race is different, so undercut only gained like 1 second. So, and this is where I kindly gave Dustin the nudge, and I thought, you know what, if you're on a different strategy, okay, so there is some that's on the mediums. That's fair enough, because you got the Dodge on the was leading at one stage. One of the contenders of this race. So it'd been leading for quite some time. And then all of a sudden, he disconnected. I don't know whether it's just a wheel issue, or was it a lag from the connection, or was it a lag from the internet, or was it a driver error? Okay, so that's where the lag was kicking in mid-race. Okay, so he had been leading at that stage, and all of a sudden he got blacked out, and that is a shame, really, after what could have been a solid result. So you had this Lexus, which I've tried the best to try and keep up, and that just leaves these two out of the mediums, whereas most of us were on the hards. Obviously, Dusty was on the mediums, having just stopped being one of the first of the lot to pit in for new tyres, having started on the hards at one stage. So that undercut certainly done the trick. And we had the Lion, of course, who also pitted, along with Rocky and Ewan, Paul, Lion. So that left some further behind still. And it was over to me to see if I can try and get a good push lap in best I can. So I had Vladil obviously coming in for new tyres, and then Mario Sonic, of course, coming in for new tyres. So that, of course, we were even. No stress, mate. It's all good because is that referring to from early in the race in turn 1 when you're going for the overtake? Because if it is that there's no stress because obviously I didn't want to ruin somebody else's race whilst I'm trying to regain the position or so. Yeah, it's all good, mate. Because it didn't bother me either way because I was literally aware of the car inside, whereas later on when I braked late on that apex, I sensed that I wasn't going to make into the concrete patch, which I've tried to get close to the concrete patch to the best I can. And obviously you was there. Unfortunately, you was given a little nudge from the Porsche to give you some extra momentum to be ahead of the corner first, to get into the corner first. So, and then I can see from my perspective there was a bit of a argy-bargy going off with the desperation, and when Dustin was obviously on slightly worn tyres, and then Vlad obviously with fresher tyres, of course, he feels that they can make some gains out of something. So we're getting to around this point, which is as far back as I can go, as it normally does, 10 seconds at a time. So Vladimir goes for a nudge onto the inside, letting him know he's there, so he's not even giving this one up. And that's what you call desperation at its finest, where you'll have slightly fresher tyres than your opponent, and then obviously then there came the consequence with the fact that the Russian forced Dustin out wide by the smallest of touches, which was enough only just to go over that white line. Yeah, just like that. Only just then that white line. Hang on. So he went over the white line from the front wheels, then onto the back wheels, and then that's when you get onto very much the edge, which obviously just a couple of centimeters is all it takes to award a penalty like that, even when the settings are set to weak. And very fortunate for Dustin there, as he made the undercut to work, and then obviously it didn't pay off in that sense, with the fact that there's some drivers behind that maybe on 1 lap fresher tyres or 2. And my tyres in that one were in good condition as well, as I just gently got them into the groove. Even Mario Sonic, even that the Mercedes may be struggling sometimes when it comes to tyre wear, but once you get the driving style together, as well as the setup, which is a separate thing, then you will not have the issue with the tyre wear, of course. So Dustin's obviously served a half-second penalty, and then Mario Sonic made the move, and then just had to avoid hitting me also, and then kept it around the outside to get the move done, and flashed to Hudson saying thank you very much, have a nice day. So obviously it was not over until it's over when it came to that point, and yeah. Yeah, this and that's the sad thing about sport mode sometimes, because there's certain drivers out there that can play the system with little moments like that and then just get away with everything. Yeah, definitely. This is a thing that's the last thing that you need also. And obviously I felt I've done my best to keep my nose as clean as possible, and to have that fundamental trust with somebody else who I'm going wheel to wheel with, door to door and bumper to bumper, of course. So that, of course, with these two on the hard tyres, that there was not really much between these up front, whilst they were on different strategies and different fuel loads. And then fuel's not been a problem for the McLaren also, although that I managed to in one of the races to get a couple of litres or laps in also, to, well, just by 0.5 of laps worth of fuel, to ensure that I push on towards the end. And so I mean, I can looking back on the start of this campaign, obviously having got 2 6th places, 2 3rd places, a 13th, which obviously I should have just come home and settled with a 9th in one of the other slots in Interlagos, and then to finish 5th on the road also. And you know, I've not done too bad, considering that I was in like what was a slightly different split compared to where I was before. So Getz obviously says they gets a 5-second penalty for this moment here. Look at that. Just like literally have a little bit of tyre on the red and white curbs, and the computer still says half-second penalty for abusing track limits. So obviously I had Getz, who also served a half-second penalty, and that of course gave the opportunity to the Spaniard for position, and done all I can to keep it around the outside. And then I wasn't really sure how close was I getting to Getz, and I also had Mario Sonic also, who was on slightly more worn tyres than me, and then Getz was on much fresher tyres but on a different tyre compound. And then obviously Mario Sonic two places for the price of one. I took myself into the best I can. Even he had slightly less fuel in the tank than I had, so it's just the few kilograms is all it takes, you know, just to get the weight shifted from one side to the other, whilst getting the best out of yourself and the car underneath you with the setup and the tyres and so on. So a lot that goes into account also. So it's been good, well, regardless. But obviously, as for the Russian, it was all nothing for him, as he were on the racing mediums, the Ferrari was on the racing hards. And there was just not enough space for, obviously, these two, well, for the Ferrari to try and overtake him on the line. Having been overtaken, so there you have it. And that is the last round of the campaign overdone with. And then wasn't really sure what was going off there, but the McLaren obviously had slightly more wear on the tyre. Unless he's on the pad, I'm not too sure. But I mean, everybody's different in their own way. So there you have it. There you have it. So I'm gonna open the daily ticket and see what I win. Mind you, I've got two actually. We'll open that one first. Some is better than nothing. A 4-star roulette ticket, see what I win also. Not a lot as well. Right. I'm gonna get into Skates Movies to close up the stream. And I just want to spare a moment to say thank you very much to those of you who are tuned in to say hello, War on the Go. Thank you very much to those of you who have been racing with, of course, and well done to those who have got a result. And I'm sure you'll get another opportunity when you can. But yeah, so obviously, for those who are just tuned in, and if you don't want to know the results, then obviously you can have a look back if you wish, because I'm going to say it, because the story of this race is that I've started 5th, having been 6 100s off pole position. So there's not really much between the pole sitter and myself, having made that last attempt count with slightly worn tyres and with the traffic ramping up as well. And finished 5th in the process as well. Maybe that like one position or two would have been better. But let's see. That just gives you well, some valuable information for those who are yet to get a slot in. So, right, it's been good. It's been good, this Manufacturers Cup campaign. I've enjoyed myself no matter what, and I'm sure you boys and girls have. So, anybody liking the content, hit the like button and subscribe if you haven't. And yeah. So I'll be live on Tuesday for some Opel lobbies in the GR3s, approximately 6:15 UK time. Obviously, because I've got kind of a tight schedule going up on Saw, but yeah. So that's what's happening. But so maybe another Opel lobby at some point in the week, along with Tuesday evening services. But we'll see. So. I'm going to cut short, as I'm going to watch the Formula 1 qualifying. And obviously, there's 2 Grand Prix left. Only one could come out as the champion of the world. But it's not over until it's over. So, right, I'm going to crack on now with other things. Thank you all for watching. Have a great evening, great afternoon, wherever you are, whatever you're up to. And for myself, Danny C., I'll catch you in the next one. Bye-bye.